Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. Dun, dun. It's a raccoon with a talk show slinging culture facts you might not know. From the biggest flops to the greatest hits, this is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hey there everyone, I'm Beaton, your friendly neighborhood trash panda, ready to present 10 more fun facts for the week, here in VRChat. Now, last week I asked the question, true or false? Francis Ford Coppola liked the Godfather video game and heavily endorsed it. The answer is false. Coppola was not only not consulted about the game, he wasn't even aware of its existence until after it was released. He went on to say that the game mishandled the characters, saying that the actors from the film were hired just for show, and then they get shot and killed later on and transfer most of the action to minor characters. He called the game a misuse of film. Despite this, the game was a decent success, sold well, and got a sequel very loosely based on the second movie to lesser reviews. Now with that out of the way, let's get started with fact number 1. Did you know that the aliens from Space Jam don't have their names said at all in the movie? Even the word for their species, the Nerdlux, isn't said aloud in the movie either. Their names are Pound, Blanco, Bang, Knot, and Bupkis. Their names are said, however, in the tie-in video game from Acclaim. Fact 2. Did you know that 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was going to have an animated sequence at one point? The live-action version of the Jules Verne story was originally planned to have an animated sequence of various undersea life. The sequence was drawn up and fully animated, but it was taken out because it was decided that animation would distract from the main plot of the story. Animation still does exist in the film during the sequence when the cannibals attempt to attack the Nautilus, and the electric shocks that come out from the sub's defense mechanisms were rotoscoped animation. Fact 3. Sticking with 20,000 Leagues for this next fact, did you know that the famous giant squid attack was actually the second version that was filmed? The scene was originally filmed against a sunset backdrop and a calm sea, but the footage was deemed to be too fake. The original scene was shown in a behind-the-scenes documentary, and you can clearly see the wires holding the squid's tentacles up. It looked very much like a Keystone Cop scene, so Walt Disney himself personally ordered to have the scene reshot and restaged. Hence, the final film shows the giant squid attacking more viciously during a stormy backdrop. Fact 4. Did you know that The Emperor's New Groove started out as a musical? The film was originally planned as a musical take on The Prince and the Pauper called Kingdom of the Sun, which was going to be about an emperor and a lookalike switching places, and one gets turned into a llama by the evil advisor. The songs were to have been written by Sting. However, lack of confidence in the project and fallout between different Disney animators and directors caused the draft to be tossed out, and the story was ultimately retooled into the ultra-funny movie we have today. All but one of Sting's songs were used in the movie, My Funny Friend and Me, which was sung over the end credits and was nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Song. Fact 5. Did you know that actress Mary Steenburgen starred in 2 different films where she falls in love with a time traveler? She played Amy Robbins in Time After Time, a 20th century woman who falls in love with H.G. Wells, a time traveler from the 19th century. And perhaps in her most famous role in Back to the Future Part 3, she played Clara Clayton, a schoolteacher from the 19th century who falls in love with Doc Brown, a time traveler from the 20th century. Interestingly enough, during the making of Time After Time, Steenburgen actually fell in love with her co-star Malcolm McDowell, and they were married for 10 years from 1980 to 1990, around the time that Back to the Future 3 was released. Fact 6. Did you know that Frank Sinatra made the song Luck Be a Lady Tonight from the musical Guys and Dolls into one of his signature songs as a response to not being cast in the lead role of the Guys and Dolls movie? Sinatra enjoyed making Guys and Dolls, but he had wanted to play the lead character of Sky Masterson, who sings the show's hit song, Luck Be a Lady. Unfortunately for him, Sky was played by the non-singing Marlon Brando, and as such, both actors clashed with each other due to their very different acting styles. Sinatra was cast in the secondary role of Nathan Detroit, and although composer Frank Lesser wrote a new song just for him, it wasn't enough. As a direct retaliation against Brando's performance, Sinatra made Luck Be a Lady a signature song of his in his standout Vegas shows. Fact 7. Continuing with the Brando-Sinatra feud, did you know that Guys and Dolls would not be the only movie in which Brando beat Sinatra over the lead role? No, my friends. The previous year, in 1954, Sinatra was considered for the lead role of Terry Malloy in On the Waterfront, only to have that role snatched by Brando in an Oscar-winning performance. Sinatra, however, would get the last laugh in 1955 when he got the lead role of a recovering drug addict in The Man with the Golden Arm, a role that was originally reserved for Marlon Brando. Fact 8. Did you know that, contrary to popular belief, late Nintendo designer Gunpei Yokoi was not fired from Nintendo after the release of the Virtual Boy? He had already been planning his exit from the company because of the way the Virtual Boy was not up to requirements before its release. Former Nintendo president Hiroshi Yamauchi essentially forced Yokoi to release the Virtual Boy without it being fully tested to keep the video game market focused on Nintendo, which prompted Yokoi to leave the company after its release and its eventual discontinue a mere 6 months after its release. Yokoi went on to develop one more system, the Bandai Wonder Swan, before he was tragically killed in a car accident in 1987. Fact 9. Did you know that a leftover function from the Japanese version of The Legend of Zelda was not able to be used in the American version? According to the US instruction manual, it states that the enemy, Paul's voice, was vulnerable to loud noises. Many players tried using the recorder item against them to no effect. The Japanese Famicom version of Zelda contained a microphone in the second controller that the players could shout into to defeat the Paul's voice. But because the NES version and controllers didn't have that feature, the enemies could not be defeated. Apparently, that function was overlooked by the developers for the game's translation. Fact 10. Did you know that at one point before getting his role, 911 star Oliver Stark was considering quitting acting to become a firefighter? Stark plays the part of Evan Buck Buckley on the show, a freewheeling, womanizing firefighter who never lets his conquests get in the way of doing his job perfectly. Before he even got the part on the series, Stark was a regular on the AMC series Into the Badlands, and had appeared in other series such as Community, Luther, and a part in the movie Underworld Blood Wars. He considered quitting acting to become a firefighter, only to play one on TV now on 911, which is currently heading into its 4th season as of the upload of this video. And here's this week's trivia question. The TV series NCIS is not just a fun, suspenseful series about government agents investigating crimes involving the military. It is, in fact, a real agency that specializes in that field. As such, the title acronym applies to real life as well. My question to you is, what do the initials NCIS stand for? And there we go for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell for future video notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.